Oni. Okay, I want us to listen even as I read the citation of our profile. Deborah Eyune Oni, I'm not sure if I get it correctly, is a legal practitioner with over a decade post-call experience. She is the founding and managing partner of Hilton Solicitors, a tech-savvy law firm committed to delivering legal services through innovation and technology. The firm's core areas of practice are in blockchain and other emerging technologies, corporate and commercial practice, dispute resolution, and real estate. Deborah is a blockchain researcher, educator, and consultant. She has a thirst for innovation, and at the core of her strength is her ability to adopt a new type of thinking and use cutting-edge legal technologies to help clients solve complex issues in a technological emerged world. She is the head of the blockchain and other emerging technologies unit of the firm. Her interest in the emerging technology space has led her into acquiring various reputable certifications in SIM. She is highly focused, resolute, confident, dedicated, and a committed personality. She holds a Bachelor's of Law, LLB from the University of Jos, Plateau State, had a BR from the Nigerian Law School, Abuja, and was subsequently called to the Nigerian bar. She has a master's degree in law, LLM, from the University of Lagos, Akoka, Lagos. Among her responsibilities are advising, researching, consulting, drafting, and negotiation. She regularly advises a broad range of clients, including local and international companies, on various sector-specific legal issues, such as joint ventures, regulatory compliance, general corporate advisory on the Nigerian law and policy affecting the corporation and operation of businesses and corporate governance to help clients maximize opportunities and profits in their businesses and minimize risk. She sits on the board of several reputable companies as the legal secretary and advisor. She serves as an external solicitor to several reputable companies. She's often called upon to speak at local and international seminars, webinars, conferences. She is a digital content writer and has authored several articles, majorly covering blockchain and law. She is passionate about sustainable legal practice through innovation and technology, and also women and girls, and is dedicated to the cause that fosters the growth of women and girls. She is a social entrepreneur. She co-founded Slum Achievers Foundation, an NGO dedicated to making positive impact on children, women, and girls in the slum areas of Africa through education, free health, and legal services. She's also a member and partner of many organizations dedicated to the above cause. So I will be going through the education again. Education, University of Lagos, LLB, Nigerian Law School, BL, University of Lagos, LLM, practice areas, blockchain and law, corporate law, intellectual property, real estate, a professional certification and licenses. She holds several certifications on areas of interest, such as World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, certification on intellectual property, IBM credentials on blockchain and Internet of Things, British Council certification on policy making, and the professional membership. She's a member of the following professional bodies: Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, African Women Lawyers Association, Nigerian Institute of Management, NIM. Her activities and affiliation: Slum Achievers Foundation, Africa Chamber of Digital Commerce, Nigeria Institute of Global Affairs Council, Tech, New Blockchain Companies, Technologies and Development, Information Technology, FinTech, Blockchain and Bitcoin Innovation, Women in Blockchain, Women in Tech, Smart Contract Research Forum, Convelant, Sivan. Okay, I welcome you all to this internship session, and Ma, over to you. You can take over from here, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Olayemi. I appreciate it. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning,
I welcome you all to this exciting moment here today. I count it a great privilege for me to be before you today to present on legal tech. And shortly, we'll be swinging into action by looking into the topic of today. Basically, it's about the basics and the introductory aspects of legal tech. So as we go through it, I trust that you'll be able to get some values and some insights which will serve as a form of direction for you in your journey in this emerging trend that we have found ourselves. Thank you very much. So like I said, our topic is on legal tech. We'll be having a basic introduction to legal technology. We know that legal tech is an emerging aspect of law. Okay. Kindly give me some minutes to attend to making one of my staff co-hosts. Sorry. All right. Thank you. All right. So shortly, in order to help us understand this aspect today, we'll be considering what legal tech is and what are the benefits of legal tech in the legal industry, and of course the emerging trends in the legal tech space and how we can leverage the legal tech. Of course, we'll consider some ethical issues, which are also like the challenges of legal tech. And then we'll also take a brief history of legal tech, both across the globe and in Nigeria. And then we'll be able to look at some take-home, some call to actions. And at the end of the day, we'll also be able to bring in some real-life illustration from my personal experience, and we'll be able to look at some statistics of firms that are already leveraging legal technology, right? So if we may say, I know that most of us already understand what we mean by legal technology. So it's not like a thing or something you cannot feel. It's as simple as using technology to be able to deliver legal services. And this is based on the fact that it gives some benefits, such as helping us to streamline the workflow, the processes, and everything that we do in the legal space. So that's basically what legal technology is, leveraging technology to deliver our legal services for improved, efficient legal services. And you know that when you have an improved way of doing things, of rendering your legal services, you'll be able to attract more clients. So we are here to be able to teach ourselves basically about how can we do things better as lawyers. That's just what it is. I recall some time back, the client, a mentee asked me, not from this platform, just generally asked me that she was confused about what the term legal tech and how she can come into the space. And I had to demystify it to that basic level. It's about leveraging technology. What we are doing now, we're also leveraging technology to be able to deliver the service. You are getting education in terms of legal tech. You are getting education on how you can leverage what it's about and how you can come into the space, what it entails, what are the emerging trends in the space now. So now this wouldn't have been possible to be able to affect over hundreds of amazing ladies spanning across the various universities in Nigeria. And it will interest you to know that we have some lawyers among us. And then we have lawyers and graduates or undergraduates across board that are participating in this program presently. This wouldn't have been possible if we weren't leveraging technology. There will be a limit to what we can do, right? There will be a limit. So these are some of the benefits that makes leveraging legal technology very sweet. So apart from the fact that in terms of education, we can do that because this is legal education we are doing here for your legal services, whatever aspect of law that you have chosen that you want to streamline on, you must understand that in this emerging trend, you cannot function as a lawyer irrespective of the space that you have chosen. I mean, you can function, but you cannot function maximally. You cannot benefit from this digital economy that we are now as a lawyer if you do not have understanding of what it means to leverage on technology. And now in it down home, when we leverage as legal practitioners, so we talk about building the legal tech space. If you would agree with me, we have fintech, right? That's financial technology. Those in the finance aspect, leveraging technology to deliver their financial services. Now, for we lawyers, we have to be well informed and understand why there is a need to build our legal tech, which is also referred to as law tech. Now, over the years, of course, we know that mostly the law has been very, very slow to changes, especially in terms of technological development. But in this present, especially so much more after the COVID-19, it became very, very important. The need to leverage technology became important in every business, in every aspect. And so most businesses are already harnessing, they're already leveraging, they're already trying to get information, to get training, to get to understand and know and build solutions that will help them perform their work or deliver their services better. And so the legal aspect, the legal industry shouldn't be an exception. And this is one of the reasons it has been a passion for me, knowing that ordinarily this space, this industry that we are not so receptive to technological innovation most of the time. So it takes intentional effort such as this. And like I told you from my stories, when we had the opening ceremony, why I took interest in women. So that's why I have aligned and focused on women to get them more informed about the need to understand this space and for us to be able to build the legal tech. Don't get me wrong, if we do not get to understand, we don't leverage to be able to harness the benefit, it does not mean that the legal tech space will not be coming up, because there is a difference between the legal practice and the legal service delivery. And it will interest you to know that most of the big fours, most of the big companies are already working on bringing up various legal tech solutions that will help for a better legal service delivery, which you actually do not need to be a lawyer to be able to do that. So if we lawyers do not get into the space and start leveraging, because the way you can talk about, I want to create a solution for the legal space, I want to do this, I want to do that in the tech space, you need to first understand. You need to get comfortable with using it. So if you get comfortable with using solutions, even if it's as small as the ones that you are getting introduced to on this platform, or however you want to see it, whether you want to see it as big or small, even if it's as small as that, when you see the benefits of the little that you are being introduced to, you will understand, oh, I think things can get better. Then I think I should get more involved in this space and see where I can leverage or see where I can try to contribute to being a solutionist in this space, so that the aspect of law that I want to practice will actually be done better and easier for me and for the whole legal profession as a whole. And also in return, you are also affecting your client, because the more you can actually perform efficiently for your clients, the more you will attract more clients, more referrals. And let's not forget that the present day is driven by the fact that customers are not even interested in the high cost that lawyers are charging them, right? So now, in order to get further on this, I have defined what the legal tech is, right? And we'll look at some of the examples along the line, then we'll explain what some of these examples are. We'll talk about some of the softwares, the platforms, the tools in the legal tech space that is being leveraged upon now, that you can also leverage, you can also research about and get to understand much more about it. So the examples of legal tech, where legal tech is being developed, and we have various platforms and tools and softwares, are places like management softwares. We have softwares that helps to manage cases, documents, and e-discovery tools. We have contract management platforms. We have the online dispute resolution platform. So you will look at what space do you want to practice. Yes, there is for legal tech to function. Of course, you have a path, an aspect of law you want to practice, but we are saying that that practice will be more more efficient now if you get to understand the emerging trend, which is leveraging the technology, creating the legal space, the fact that there are platforms and softwares in the legal space that are tailored to our own specific needs of lawyers that you can leverage on. And of course, it doesn't even have to be the tailored one. When we get to the history, we will understand that for computers, it wasn't created in the advent of computers. It was not created for lawyers alone, right? But lawyers were able to leverage on it, and they saw the benefits, and then they started using. So it doesn't have to just be the legal specific technologies that you are aware of yet. It could be, of course, the Zoom we're using now, I'm not sure was created just specifically for lawyers. But of course, lawyers and everyone from every aspect, every industry are leveraging it, and it's helping us to be able to perform better. I personally, 99 point something of my meetings are being held virtually now. That way, I'm able to hold meetings with clients across Nigeria. This wasn't made possible before. At the point before my leveraging on technology, before coming into the tech space fully, things were done physically, and I knew what it cost me. In fact, it got to a time it almost cost me my life and that of my kids, because at some point, because I was rushing to the office to probably attend to a client, I somehow I got into a hold up, and then somehow I had an accident, and it was just God that helped me. That was because the distance between my office and where I moved to in Lagos then was quite a very long distance. And so these were some of the things that, some of the disadvantages, of course, that if you're just strictly operating physically, apart from the fact that I was spending more money on fuel, I was risking my life, I was not able to perform efficiently because it will take me time and days to be able to deliver. Now, take an example, the day that the accident happened, I couldn't go further with the job I was to deliver for the client, even though God protected us and nothing happened to us, but the car was actually damaged. So the process of conveying that from there and attend everything, and the fact that I was not balanced at that point, I couldn't focus on the work, right? But for most of the time that I have to automate most of the job, and considering, of course, because we're working on full automation for the firm, and then I saw that the time I spent doing things traditionally, physically, cost me more money, more of my strength, and then I was not able to deliver efficiently. And of course, as a result of that, you should know that was also dwindling the number of clients, right? So these are some of the benefits that we'll get to understand along the line, while leveraging technology is a great option for us. So now the history of legal tech dates back to the early days of computing. In 1970s, law firms began using computers. They began to automate their routine work. So the normal task, most times I recall then if I needed a document and I did not go to the office, I'll have to call one of my staff, please get me the document. We spend hours, we're searching for it on the shelf. Wow, we can't sit here, where did you say it is? And then you have to bring out the files and the rest of it. But automating most of those, in fact, all those documents, because I can't recall when last I had to make a physical file, right? So it's saving me time, it's saving me space, and it's saving me money that I would have used to probably get bigger space and things like that. So when you are able to automate routine tasks such as document assembly and billing, so it will interest you that even billing has been automated. It doesn't have to be that you have to prepare that document at every point in time when you have clients and you have to send the bill. That was the system then. I recall, in fact, I still have a bunch of receipts that I used to send to clients for their bill then. When I looked at them a few days ago, I laughed and I was like, oh, I really do not have need for this again, because everything about all those have been automated, right? So we have in the 1980s, when legal research platforms like LexisNexis, most of you must have heard about that, Westlaw, when they emerged, it started helping in terms of the legal research, made legal research faster. So then, of course, we saw the internet revolutionizing the legal industry in the 1990s. Law firms and professionals, they began to build websites, and then they started offering online services. That is also happening up to date, right? So these are some of the things that has come to help us to be able to render and deliver our legal services easier. and then to be able to perform maximally, right? So now we are in 2000s, we saw the emergence of more specialized legal tech tools. That was when most tailored, industry-tailored platforms and tools started emerging. Then we have something like the e-discovery platforms. We have softwares and platforms and tools for the e-discovery, for practice management, for contract management, and the rest of it. Then, of course, in the mid-2010s, we had some tech startups, legal tech startups that started emerging, and they came up with various innovative solutions to all the issues that have been plaguing the legal industries, or not really all, to some of the issues that have been long-standing and plaguing the legal industry. And we have examples of those ones, I think an example is here, like the law party. So these companies were focused on improving access to legal service. We have Law Party, we have a DIY Law. I don't know how many of you have used those platforms. It's like an online legal service that will help you to get legal documents and stuff like that. It's interesting to know DIY Law was founded by Funkola. Funkola was supposed to be on this program for this time, but somehow her schedule had been so tight, so she couldn't come. We wanted to have her here so we can, of course, get some lessons from her practical experience in building DIY Law. Of course, DIY Law, apart from the DIY Law, Law Basket, Law Savvy, and Law Party that we have, are some of the legal tech startups that came up in 2016. It will interest you to know that before this, and outside Nigeria, we have something like the LegalZoom. LegalZoom does the same thing. LegalZoom came into being in 2001, and it's also an online platform, an online legal service platform that people can go and get their legal documents and the rest of it. Now, you as a lawyer, if you're not leveraging technology and you're not aware of this, of course, some lawyers register as agents on those platforms. And so when clients come to the platform and they get those documents, of course, the list, the pricing and everything is there already. You can do subscription to get the legal services. I think how it operates, by the time they need to reach out to a lawyer, they'll probably attach them to one of the independent agents. Now, the person who built it, what I have not confirmed is whether the person is a lawyer. Of course, for DIY, I know DIY Funkola is a lawyer, right? Now, for LegalZoom, I had not confirmed, which was before DIY, and which is an American online legal service platform. Now, take an example if he wasn't a lawyer, or if he is not a lawyer, because I'm not hearing he is dead or anyway. So the thing is, what will happen is that when those that leverage on this aspect and see that there is a lot of prospects and that the legal tech space is very promising, and they start pushing in money, investing and building tech solutions, what will happen? It means that we as lawyers will probably be eating the crumbs at the end of the day. Don't forget, if you're coming to register as an agent, as a lawyer on the platform, when there is a need for you, of course, they will connect you. Don't forget, you will not be the only one. So the possibility that there will be anything to reach out to you early enough is not there, right? But the thing is that, of course, that you're on that platform, you have also try that you are in the legal tech space, right? But the thing is that the bulk of the meat will go to the creator of this platform. So if we're going to wait to get to, not to get to leverage in this space and see how we as lawyers can also be builders of the legal tech that we want, then at the end of the day, we'll be at the mercy of those that are probably not lawyers in most cases, which will not be if we keep not getting into the space and coming in fast to get to understand and see how we can collaborate with those that are technologists already to be able to build solutions that will help us to build the legal tech that we want, especially in this part of the country, borrowing lessons from other parts of the world, right? So that's what will happen if we do not leverage this space and get to understand. And how do you do that? You cannot do that if you are staying out and do not even understand that there is a need for it. If you do not even understand, because I very well, when I came out as a lawyer in 2010, I had no idea that there was anything that I needed to know, that there was anything about the intersection of law and technology, right? yes, the hype and the praise for technology in terms of legal service delivery wasn't as much now as it was back then. But the fact still remains that if you're going to stay if I had maintained the status quo as I was at that time, that I was like not a friend of technology and the rest of it, I could still be sitting in my firm and just be staring, and at the end of the day, the briefs will just be passing me by. It will interest you to know that when it was just physical, I was operating. Most times, the number of times we had physical clients when we're taking stock and trying to, take stock, right? So we discovered that the number of clients and services that we render leveraging technology and being in the tech space was much more than what we ever had operating as traditional lawyers, right, in the firm. So these were some of the things that informed my continuous, of course, follow up with the tech space and my continuous interest, and then the need to get more people into the space to get to understand. Because the thing is, if you do not understand the need for it, the benefit that it offers, sometimes you can hear it, but sometimes you can't just relate. You just feel, oh, that probably if the person just, read something to you, you just feel, yeah, I think I've heard about that also. But when you hear with experience, with some practical illustrations, you'll be able to kind of, relate and get to understand, because I'm talking from the pain, right? From what I had lost, not even getting to understand this space at all, right? So we say the legal tech in Nigeria, of course, is in its early stage. So it is very, very, the time is still right for us to be able to all get in and understand, to be able to build the kind of legal tech space that we want. And so that's the essence of this platform, for you to get stirred up, to get to understand that even as students, of course, you're already leveraging technology, you are doing virtual internship and mentorship programs, you're doing various trainings in all those space, right? So then you can work, of course, even as students, you can work in the tech space. We'll come to that, how you can actually leverage and come into the space and all that. So some of the benefits from the stories I have also been saying, relating my own story, I think we have gotten some of the benefits, but I'll just reiterate them and run through them. So some of the benefits is that there is improved and efficient legal service delivery. And then, of course, there is improved productivity. So we have the fact that if you automate your routine tasks and streamline your workflow, it makes your work to be very, very productive and efficient. And what does that turn out to be? In turn, you get great clients. You get better clients. Clients will be satisfied. When clients are satisfied, what would that mean? They will patronize you again. And if they keep patronizing you, if they have any reason to refer anyone to you, they will, because they are getting satisfied. So these are some of the reasons, because without the clients, of course, you cannot have a legal practice, because you cannot patronize yourself, right? So if you have to patronize yourself, I don't think we can make what we want to make. So, right, all right, we have increased access to legal service. So legal tech can help to make legal services more accessible to a wider range of people. Just like I was using the example of this platform, that we can reach a larger number of female law undergraduates, graduates, and lawyers over here, which we wouldn't have if we were doing it in the traditional way, right? So it is the same thing when we leverage on technology, on the legal tech, and giving legal services, leveraging on tech, we are able to reach wider range of clients. And that's my experience that I am having now, leveraging that. I mean, clients that I wouldn't have been able, or that I never had while operating in the traditional mode of practice, are now the kind of clients that we relate with, that we have to hold meetings upon meetings, which ordinarily, if it was in the traditional system when I was operating on that level then, I mean, before you travel or move from one place to the other, and given that Lagos is a place filled with cold most of the time, you can barely attend to two different meetings in two different locations in a day. So you'd have spent like a quarter of your time or of your day on the road before you get to the meeting. And then you can't really think of scheduling like two meetings in two different locations. in the area where we stay, right? So these are some of the things that the legal tech and the technology has helped to take care of, and then it's helping us to be able to be more efficient and then to grant the legal service to a wider range of people. And of course, we know that we have online legal platforms and tools. Recently, I recall, very recently, like a month ago, a client was referred to me from another country, and then I charged, and she complained, and she said, "Oh, don't worry. I think I'll just go to the internet. I'll go online and just get a document and just print it out, and then it will take care of it." And then, of course, we had to speak on that aspect. But these are some of the things that will happen. So the thing is, if you do not understand that there's a legal tech, that there is the emerging trend going on leveraging technology for legal services, you will get to miss out of the ball of the game. Because if you are waiting that, okay, you will just see physical clients within your jurisdiction, within your community where you opened your office, that will not help you to have a thriving and robust practice. And the services are available online, just like my client testified. So now I do not even know whether it is lawyers that own most of those services, right? So most of these documents that they will generally come to you to prepare for them, they are online. So if you are not online, if you are not tech savvy, how are you going to be able to get your own portion from the clients that are there? Because the clients are also well informed, and so to be able to serve them, you have to actually understand that you need to leverage on the technology yourself. All right, so we'll move to the okay, we have a reduced cost, there's improved data analysis and decision making. Okay, all right. All right, please, 1 minute, the internet is all right, can we hear me? I'm sorry about that. I was told now that there were complaints from the chat box. Can you hear me now? Can you all hear? That the internet wasn't really stable, it was fluctuating. So we had to switch to another internet. So I believe it's quite stable now. Thank you. All right, so we'll continue with the examples of okay. All right, that has kind of okay. So we have of course there are various benefits, but some of the ones that have been highlighted here are the ones that I have said. There's also a reduced cost, and like I said, clients are not looking for expensive legal services anymore. They are not looking for it. So they are looking for the lawyer who can actually, give them services that are quite affordable. And you will understand and you will believe the fact that if you are operating in the traditional way of rendering legal services, it is much more expensive. So imagine if you have to prepare a document and you have to type, give your staff to probably type, and then give you to review. She types again, or you write, you give her to review. She gives back to you. you review and give her, and then you keep wasting paper. Don't forget you're wasting paper. This was my system because this is not a story. So I would write, give it to one of my staff to type, and then she sends back to me. Sometimes she even prints to send to me, and then I go through and she has to retype. And then we keep doing this fork and back thing. And at the end of the day, I will print these documents, arrange it, we will spiral bind and whatever we need to do to it. Then we get to the client. And then you will see the client will go through again and be like, oh, Debbie, I think this clause, we have not agreed on this, and they will slash it and I'll bring it back again. And some of these would have wasted enough papers. Don't forget, we have done copies and the rest of it. And because we had gone to take the brief, and then we have all the terms, all the agreements, we have it all taken that we have included in the typed document. Only to get there and we'll be like, oh, sorry, I don't think this was actually concluded on. And then they slash it out and you have to go back again. I recall there was a particular client, I have used that example here before. One is quite elderly. I will have to drive down to his office and then go back, and we're doing this sort and back, and it was so tiring. And so I was wasting papers, I was wasting ink, and I recall we were doing a very bulky document. And so at some point we were calling the printer. In fact, I was almost like employing the printer repairer, because we're changing inks all the time. Sometimes I'm drawing out the ink, trying to even get it done myself, so I don't spend much money. So I mean, this is not effective, right? It wasn't effective, right? So, but now I don't have that kind of issues anymore. In fact, I rarely print out now. Don't get me wrong, I still print board, and I rarely do when it is necessary, because you can draft the document yourself, and then you can review along with your clients, as you have seen, leveraging things like as simple as the Google documents. Let's not even go to the advanced legal tech documents that are tailored towards the law. I mean, we are leveraging on the Google Doc, which is what most of these other platforms that are probably the legal tailored set platforms for lawyers will do. That you can review, you can draft alongside the other party. It enables you to collaborate. So at the time I transitioned into the legal tech space, myself and some of my clients, we had issues from their side, not from me. I took my time. I started teaching my clients how to make use of something as simple as Google Docs. Sir, we'll not be bringing these documents again. We helped, for some of them, we helped them download it and took them through that training. This is how it will be done. So when we finish, if you have the time, you let us know if you are when you're available. Then you can, we share the document. You can access it at any time. It's not like you tell me, oh, it got lost in the junk mail, I couldn't find it and the rest of it. No. So we share this document, and then sometimes he's reviewing and then making suggestions and comments, and we are also on the platform also, accepting the ones that we agree with, and then of course making our own suggestions also. That way, in fact, I've had to draft a document on emergency at some point, and within few hours we were done with this particular client, because that client also was well informed. And before you know, as I was drafting, he was correcting, we were accepting the changes, and we were done with it. We needed to go and execute the matter in Ibadan, and it was so fast, and I felt so happy. That was like the first few weeks and months of my using the Google Doc. That was some years back. So I felt very, very happy, and my client was so happy, because the time at which they brought this matter was so, we had the short time within which to prepare for it, right? So these are some of the things that it does. You're able to satisfy the client, you are able to also, get that happiness, get satisfied yourself. When you're satisfied, you can offer, great advice and great service, right? So some of the benefits also is access to justice. Legal tech can help to improve access to justice by making legal services more affordable. Don't forget, we just spoke about that, because clients are looking for services that are quite affordable. And if you're not ready to do it because you are still practicing in the traditional way, it's not their business. They understand that they have options everywhere online. And so when they even get to know that you are leveraging technology, they know that there's a way they can, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying because it's now gone leveraging technology. Of course, tech also costs money, right? But it's not as compared to what it will cost just performing and then operating as a traditional lawyer that we know, right? So, of course, there's increased transparency. There is competitive advantage. When you embrace legal tech, you can imagine the kind of advantage that it will provide you. Firms that are using technology, of course, they operate in a different way. They differentiate themselves from their competitors. And of course, that helps you also to put yourself out for clients that will get attracted to you. And then, of course, we know that you'll be able to also retain the existing one once they know that they can always get response, they can always get solutions from you. I recall my language back then would be the client needed a document for us to work on, and we'll probably be like, oh, when we get to the office tomorrow, we'll reach out to you. And because the document is in the file in the office, but that is no more, because you have a lot of cloud-based platforms that you're storing the documents, and you can just access it from any device. Back then, of course, it was just a particular system. If that system was all with me, I would recall, oh, when I get to the office, I'll gain access to that system and we'll be able to take the document. But that's not the story anymore. Across my various devices, I can access it because these things are stored on the cloud-based platforms, right? And which was one of the things that we have taught you also. The Google Drive is also a cloud-based storing system, right? That you can access that the documents from anywhere that you want to, once you're logged in with the email that you use. Or if it's a shared document, as we shared the other one that you're supposed to upload all those documents on. These are intentional steps to get you to start interacting and interfacing with these ones. So your ability to be able to leverage on the existing technologies or the existing improved ones, then you try to upskill and get to know and understand and see how you can be a player in the emerging trends, in the emerging technologies also. Because of course, things like the AIs are emerging ones. So, but if you don't even start from the simple ones or from the existing improved one, how do you get comfortable and see the reason to be able to leverage on the emerging tech that will help you to provide or deliver better solutions? All right, so we can read the remaining out. Then, okay, we did go through the examples of the legal tech earlier. We ran through them in key points. And so now we're going to give examples of some of the platforms or tools or the softwares. And that's why we have it here now, again, examples of legal tech. We just highlighted case management, documents, management software, and the rest earlier. But now we will tell you, okay, because you'll be wondering which one is case management. And I don't just want you to have it and cram in your head and be like, oh, I know some of the examples are case management is this, is that. Okay, I want it kind of in a way that you get to understand and then have examples and be able to go and interface with the website. The examples that are given here, try and research them. What is this pro law all about? What is this LIO all about? Now, the case management software is used by law firms to manage and organize client cases. Don't forget, in the typical firm, you probably have these chunks of files that are littering everywhere and the rest of it. And sometimes you are mixing up files and you're not able to gain access or lay hands on files quickly. But when you have case management software, which there are a lot of case management software, such as the CLIO and the Pro Law, there are large numbers of them. I had to just pick to like 2 or 3 for every of the various examples here. So you can go to do further research. Like I said, we can't provide you everything here, but at least we want to give you something that will tell you up to do further research and then to get to understand, to practicalize it. So that we don't just cram and say these things are real. You go online and then put it in, okay, you can register on the CLI and see how it operates. This software, okay, how can I leverage on it? Yes, you might say, oh, but I've not graduated. You can try to register and then, of course, start interfacing. For the legal practice, you can have your law firm as your name, right? So you can put the name where they need the name for the firm and just try to interface with it, interact with it, and see what you can get to understand. All right, so we have examples of, okay, then we have document management. The document management softwares, which we have a large number, quite a number, they help you to store and organize and track legal documents. Don't forget that, like I said, apart from the improved ones, you can start with leveraging on the existing one. And don't forget that something like the Google Drive, apart from the fact that it helps you to be able to collaborate within your team, where you can create documents, review, edit, comment, and do all that you need to do at the same time. It also helps you to be able to store your documents. It helps you to store your document. I think automatically, if you have a Gmail, you should have the Google Drive, right? So apart from the Google Drive, we have the iCloud, right? So these are things that you need to interact more with. Now, the whole benefits of Google Drive wasn't made known to me at a go. Most of these things I learned on the job. Most of them, it was as a result of a client's job that I got to understand. And some of the clients will have to tell me. I recall, like I said, years back when the Google Doc started, it was a client that told me, oh, Debbie, you need to bring this document. I said, oh, sorry, I'm driving. When I get to the office, he said, Debbie, please, we need this urgently. Can you just park along the way and let's just get it drafted? I was like, I have only my phone here. I cannot start drafting anything. I said, you can download the Google Doc and start doing, it's just a simple thing we need to do. And I was like, okay. Then I stopped, downloaded, followed the prompts, and then, of course, I did it, and it was so good. I was like, really? So I got so happy, of course. And then from there, I started trying my hands further on it. And then, of course, with the fact that you have to interact with other clients that are already leveraging on very great technology than you ever have an idea of, it kind of helped me. So those were some of the things. And of course, the Google Drive also. I didn't really know the importance and the use of Google Drive before I got in contact with another client who of course, shared the documents with me. And I think that was how I came into it. And then it got better as a result of my being a part of a research forum, the smart contract forum. Already, I was already leveraging on getting to understand the various features of the Google Drive. And then the fact that you can share a document, and then you can actually draft a document, do a research. And when you do your project, that you have to write chapter 1, take to your supervisor, they edit, and then I don't know how you do it now, but of course it was the hard copies will take there, when you cancel, then you bring it back, you type again, you take there, or you write again, you take there, and this forth and back. But for that research forum, I just discovered that that was the first time I started using the shared Google Drive. And then once you just draft, you have your initial draft stuff there. As you're making the corrections, of course, it's getting integrated into it. And because you're already sharing this document, and the other parties have the link, all the parties that are involved, the various professors that needed to kind of review and edit this research will go and gain access to it. There was nothing like, there was a lot of emails that a lot of correspondence that we exchanged, but there was no complaint about, oh, I can't find the document you said you attached, because it was in one place with this particular link that we will just get there and then gain access to it until the number of months that research concluded that we needed to put it into completion. Everything was seamless. And then I understood, oh, this is great. And so these are some of the ways that you can, get to interact with all those things. So for the document management, apart from because sometimes if you don't bring it down home, you will be wondering which one is net document, which one is DocuSign, which one is this. These are the simplest that you can just get to understand. So when it comes home and you get to understand, oh, you mean something like this, even as much as the Google Drive that I have used is helping me to store documents and all that, then you'll be able to transition and transcend from that aspect to say that, oh, I don't think the next documents will be something too complicated than what I have used. So that's just the whole essence, right? So we have like DocuSign. Of course, I've used DocuSign severally to sign documents with clients across jurisdiction, right? I recall back then also, much more younger as a lawyer then, when I was still very young in the legal practice, and then doing a lot of registration of companies, business name, limited liability, and the rest of it. I recall one of my clients, we needed to do a registration of school for, and some of the directors of this school were not in Lagos. And I knew how many months we spent doing forth and back, trying to get the other parties to sign that document. I had to go and use, was it DHL, one of the courier services. And then at a point, I was even considering using the normal commercial buses, where I'll just give the driver. And then, of course, one of the staff was, what if they tell you they have accident and the rest of it, or with all the stories that they will see, or the pour oil and stuff like that. So it took us time. It took us time, and then, of course, it took us maybe more money than the traditional, like leveraging on technology, right? Because like if I knew of DocuSign as at that time, of course, it would have been so great. It would have been easier for us to be able to send the document, probably scan it in, and then send to the party to sign, and then they send to each other, and then send it back to us. So I experienced all those things, and I understand better practicing as a traditional lawyer, and some of the things that it cost me, but not good things. And then I understand it better, and I am happier transitioning and being in the legal tech space, right? So the DocuSign, you can actually create documents and sign. Of course, you can create the documents there. You can sign and send within how many minutes. The other party will get an alert and a request for them to sign the document, and they will get that done. You might be feeling, oh, how do I access this DocuSign? You can just download it. Of course, there is the paid service, and there is some of that's the good thing about some of these things. There is the trial aspect of it that you can try to just have a feel about, oh, this is how it operates. And if you like it, you want to continue with the service, you go for the paid subscription, right? Just like even the CLI, so they have a trial period, and then they have the subscription that you can make, and then continue the usage of those services. Now let's bring it back home. Most of you have a Office, Microsoft Office. On the Microsoft Office, you can actually sign some basic and simple letters that we draft. I actually use them. Like the acquisition letter we need to send, and some of the basic letters that you need to use. So you don't have to, because some of you are already complaining you don't have enough space on your phone, you don't have enough space on your phone that will take various apps like that. In order not to just get it all down for you. Let it not be because the rest of us have different devices that we can get this done. So you can actually try your hands on that. The Microsoft Office has a place enabled for you to sign. So once you do your document, just probably scan your signature to the platform. Just go to the signature mode and then follow the prompting. Just upload your signature there. Each time you bring your documents, convert it to PDF and bring it to the Microsoft Office, and then insert your signature. So that way you are not wondering, oh, I needed to sign this document, but I could not because it's online, or you go and print. You know how we do it, or how I did it then. I don't know how you did then, or how you're doing it now, but I know that you're more informed and getting more informed here. We will ordinarily draft it and print it then scan it. And if your scanner is not working, you go to another cyber cafe, you sign and then take it to the cyber cafe and rescan back to your device. And then they will use flash drive to copy. And I can't recall when last I made use of flash drive. So life is made easier now, right? So there are the existing improved technologies as simple as the Microsoft Office that you can use. So you don't have to say, oh, where do I get the money to get this? Of course, there's the Microsoft team, which I think operates with some subscriptions and all that, but the Microsoft Office, you do not need that. That's a basic one, and you can actually use things like that, right? So the e-discovery tools helps legal professionals. Of course, some of the examples I've given you, DocuSign, Next documents for document management software. We have the e-discovery tools, which helps legal professionals to manage and analyze large volumes of electronic data in litigation, including emails, documents, and social media posts. Examples of the softwares that help with the e-discovery, the Relativity and Everlaw. So you can get them out. You can just go www.relativity and all that, and then check them out to get to understand, read more, keep abreast with the emerging trend. Contract management platforms, they help you to manage and automate the creation, review, and approval of contracts. Of course, DocuSign also serves this purpose. We have a Concord also. And of course, for those of you in dispute resolution, there's online dispute resolution now, the ODR. There are various platforms that help with the online dispute resolution. So if you're into the space, if that is the space you're on, like I said, no matter the area that you are, it is very pertinent that you get informed about technology and how you can leverage it. Because if you do not, that is not stopping it. It is going. The tech is evolving every space and every area. So the earlier, the better. So now the online dispute resolution platforms enables legal professionals to resolve disputes online, often through mediation or arbitration. And some of those platforms, which I have quite a number, but two are mentioned here, Mudra and Smart Settle. So you will want to check them out. Then we have the legal analytics. We have the legal analytics software, which helps, which is used to analyze data and predict legal outcomes, helping legal professionals to make more informed decisions. Of course, some of the examples of this is Fastcase and then Revel of Fastcase. So check it out on the web. Check it on the internet. www.fastcase.com, I think. But once you just type Fastcase, it should bring the full website for you. And then we have a Revel. Then, of course, coming down to emerging trend, we have artificial intelligence. We have artificial intelligence tools for legal research and analysis. So the AI tools, they help legal professionals to search, analyze legal databases, identify relevant legal case law, and draft legal documents. And some of the examples are Roche Intelligence and LexisNexis, which we mentioned before, and then ChatGPT. Now, this ChatGPT will be a topic that we will talk about after this place. After this whole teaching now, I will take you on it, and then we'll try to log on. If you have heard about ChatGPT, kindly type in the chat box now. ChatGPT, an AI-powered solution. If you have heard about it, you can type it on the chat box now. So we have examples of this. Now for Roche Intelligence, LexisNexis, and some of these things, like I said, some of these platforms, tools, or softwares operate on paid subscriptions, right? But we have things like Eva and Judicata that are free to use. And of course, ChatGPT, which is very, very new. It is nascent and it's free. Although we understand that at some point it will probably be on paid subscription. We do not know now because it's very, very new. So, these are some of the things that are helping lawyers to be able to render legal services at a great and speedy, cost-effective, efficient, productive way. Now, the statistics of law firms leveraging legal tech, because you might be wondering, PwC Law Firm Survey of 2021 reported the following, that 88% of the top 100 firms have invested in e-signature. You remember the e-signature we spoke about? The slide before this, where we brought it home and even said, okay, on the Microsoft Office, you can have it there, then you have it on your DocuSign. Yeah. So 84% of the top 100 firms have invested in document management systems. Then in a report by Oxford University, it reported as follows, that 50% of law firms in England and Wales use AI-powered solutions. And then in a report by Solicitors Regulation Authority, 87% of law firms use video conferencing for meetings. You know, I've told you that 99.something% of my meetings are held online now. Now, I only schedule physical meetings when it is very necessary. Before, do you know how many times I hop out to go and have meetings with clients? Even the days I probably have other physical meetings elsewhere, I have to run back to the office just to hold meetings, which some of these meetings might not even yield to something fruitful. Some of them will just come and waste the whole of your time. At that time, of course, I didn't analyze, I didn't plan myself well. So I allowed them to waste my time. So now if you are being attended to and there is a need to even schedule meetings, we now schedule the meeting, which already is is already rationed with time. And so if you are requesting, oh, we want to see you physically, we want you yourself to come, that I will have to now come and do physical meeting, then it is very, very necessary. There is an exception about it. Like, it is not so necessary for me. Take an example with the whole pressure, the whole turmoil that is going on in the country now. Imagine having to be driving around and saying, okay, I'm going to the office, I'm going to this place, I'm going to that place to hold meetings. That could become a victim of some of this evil that is going on in town. Don't get me wrong, it's not like you don't go out, but of course, irrespective of what is going on, my work is going on. So now I would have said, if it was strictly traditionally, I was operating that, oh, with the whole thing that is going on and people being burnt on the way, they're blocking the road and they're killing and doing all that. We're supposed to have this meeting, but we can't have it as a result. No, if you cancel meetings, it's not because of that. Because we can actually hold. And most of my clients are happy because sometimes they are even at work. Recently, a referral was done to us and the lady was at work. So she said, I would want to come and see you, but my work will not allow me. I told her, sis, relax. You don't even need to come. We will hold a Zoom meeting. I know how many clients that I have had to download Zoom because I taught them about that. And we held the meeting, and she just stepped aside to a place in her office, and we held the meeting, and it was all good. So these are some of the things. All right. So in the Law Tech UK reported that investment in law tech is estimated to reach up to £2.2 billion per year by 2026. So LexisNexis reported that 65% of law firms have planned or already implemented website development. Yes, and of course, most law firms have planned. Some are already using it. We are using it. Hilton Solicitors has a website. So these are some of the ways you can leverage technology. Put yourself out there, and then you'll be able to benefit from the various opportunities and the potential that the legal tech offers. All right. So 59% of firms planned or already planned or are already developing a social media platforms. So you can see why we are reiterating that you should get on the social media, because you cannot operate as a lawyer of them, as the kind of law that we used to do. So you have to be there. You have to have social media platforms. These are some of the ways you leverage technology. These are some of the ways you come into the space that you will not only leverage in the long run, you will get to understand and see what aspect of your interest is being stirred up, whether to be part of those that develop legal tech solutions, part of those that will help in the policy formulations and implementations, that will help in terms of providing good and robust regulatory frameworks, or of course, leveraging it for yourself. And then of course, giving the best and the great legal advice that will help legal tech companies to be able to do the right thing. Take an example, I always keep referring to the blockchain aspect in terms of the DAO attack, the 51% attack. That attack happened. I'm sorry if you do not have an idea about it. Of course, the topic will be taken on blockchain by my other colleague, my friend from UK. He will be taking us on blockchain law and governance. We will have a better understanding on that. Now, that error, the swindling that was done in terms of the Ethereum as a result of the 51% attack was done as a loophole in the smart contract. Now, imagine if lawyers were in that space. Well-informed lawyers in the tech space that understand the essence of a contract and be able to help with the smart contract. And so some of the things that were actually taken advantage of by the swindlers would probably have been minimized. So some of the challenges or the ethical issues that we have in the legal tech are things like data privacy, bias and discrimination. We have cyber security. Of course, you can read this at your spare time. The fact that data privacy, legal tech tools often require the collection and use of large amounts of data, including even sensitive personal data. So you know there's a need for compliance with the GDPR, with the CCPA, for various regulations and various provisions of the law, that some of the ways or the modes of collection of this data might probably, go against. These are some of the challenges, these are some of the ethical issues that we can go through. But of course, irrespective of these ethical challenges or the limitations, when we get to create or we get to leverage, we can know how best to be able to apply the ethics of the profession and be able to apply what we are required to do as a lawyer, right, in using all this legal tech. So on the whole, we are to get to understand and then be able to act in the best possible way that we are employed as legal professionals to be able to leverage this technology. So of course there is the bias and the discrimination. Of course there is informed consent, the need for you to advise your client on the use of the legal tech and what it entails, what are the benefits, what are the risks of this. And then of course you are expected and required to display professional competence. So if you're not going to display professional competence or etiquette in terms of your leveraging technology, then you won't have to. So it's not like, oh, the tech has come, let me just do away with all the rules of the professional conduct. No, you still have to follow those rules on what it entails that you should do. So while leveraging tech, you have to display a high level of professional competence. You have the duty to remain competent and then keep up with the latest legal texts and the tools and the news about it. And then, of course, there's the unauthorized practice of some legal tech tools, such as online legal forms and chatbots. Like I said, some of them, I don't even know whether it's lawyer that owns them. So these can be seen as providing legal advice and services without a license to practice law. I said it's not all we have an idea whether it's lawyers that that created them. So we are now seeing that there's a form of demarcation between the legal service delivery and the legal practice. And so until this is addressed, we can't say let's wait until this is addressed. If we don't come into it, it's already being touted in a way, right? So at the end of the day, they will have their agreement to say they are not the one practicing. They are bringing lawyers into the platform, or they are getting these documents from lawyers and things like that. But until we get into the space and see, we won't be able to see the loopholes. We won't be able to see the limitations and the challenges. We won't be able to see what we need to do to be able to protect our interests or to be able to protect the legal industry as a whole. So the provision of the laws regards legal tech, it can vary in various jurisdictions and specific legal tools in question. Generally, legal tech tools must comply with all the relevant laws and regulations, including those related to data privacy, as we said earlier, and of course the issue of cyber security, the cyber risk involved, right? So intellectual property and the unauthorized practice of law. So for example, like in the US, we know that legal tech must comply with the American Bar Association's model use of professional conduct, which provides the guidelines on the ethical considerations. So in Nigeria, we know that the Legal Practitioners Act and the rules provide the regulatory framework for legal practice. So we should check, which includes, of course, the use of technology. So we should check what the provisions of this is. That's the LPA. Check what the provision is, see how you can actually put yourself in the best stand to be able to leverage maximally technology for your practice. And so now the future of legal tech. What's the future of legal tech? Now the future of legal tech cannot be discussed without reference to the emerging technology. And on the top of the emerging technology will be things like artificial intelligence and blockchain. Of course, we have quantum computing, we have the machine learning, of course, some of these things, machine learning and all that can go under the AI, right? So we have automation, we have online dispute resolution. That is the future of the legal tech. The future of the legal tech will be moved by artificial intelligence, automation, blockchain, online dispute resolution, cyber security, because the more the data, the more the risk of, the more the cyber risk. So now the use of artificial intelligence in legal tech is expected to grow as more advanced AI-powered tools are becoming available for legal research, contract analysis, e-discovery, as we saw earlier. So these tools have the potential to streamline legal processes, just like we have said earlier, improve efficiency and all that. Now, automation. Automation is another key thing, a key trend in the legal tech. More processes, more systems, more jobs are being automated, more tasks, the routine tasks that you have, they are being automated. What does this mean? So sometimes you are wondering, if they are being automated, does that mean lawyer is not needed again? No, it does not mean that. Yes, in a way, it could mean that the traditional job description or the traditional role that you ordinarily get, some of them will be eliminated. And now new jobs will be created within that same space. Because of course, the AI cannot really operate on its own. Now, like the ChatGPT I told you, it cannot just be on my phone and start doing work without me giving it command, right? Now, if you have Siri on your phone, you have to speak and say, hey, Siri, and pose your question. It can't just come up, right? So it will still need humans to do some forms of things, but it needs you to relearn, upskill, and be able to fit into the new roles that will be created by these emerging trends like the AI and the blockchain. Okay, some of the things that is being powered by these technologies. So the blockchain technology has the potential to transform the legal industry. You might want to read my article on blockchain revolutionizing the legal industry. One of the recent article I've written, I think the link will be sent in later. So it has the potential to revolutionize the legal industry. I recall when I came into the blockchain space, I got a lot of insults from my friends, from my colleagues. Back then, I recall I called some of my colleagues within the same community, some within my law firm, they had their own firm around there, and I called them. This is the emerging thing that is coming up. Why not come together? Let's understand this emerging tech and see how we can be players in the ecosystem. I think you need to get to understand the thing first. And don't forget, if you were not aware, I did state before how I came into the blockchain space. Of course, my husband is into the space by having an accounting background as an accountant. But at that time, I wasn't looking at it as if it was something that concerned me as a lawyer. And then at the particular time, myself and my husband went to visit one of my mentors. And he did say, when I was trying to ask him some questions, he told me, why not look into the blockchain space, the cryptocurrency space where your husband is? And that was just it for me. And that's one thing about being mentored is they don't need to dish everything into your head before you get it. It could just be one word. That's why I keep advising, whether the younger ones or my colleagues or my age mate or whoever, just be flexible, be adaptable, be teachable, be open-minded to the endless possibilities that abound, especially in this space. And that was just the one word that I got from them. Why not look into it? The following day, I started following my husband to attend seminar about the blockchain. And when I get there, I listen like my whole life depended on it, because I was tired of building a client base. By the time I give birth to my next baby, my clients would have reduced. And then the next thing, I'm coming back again, got forth and back. So I needed something that I could be stable with, irrespective of whether I have given birth or not. And thank God at that point, I had given birth to my last baby. So I was ready to be like, okay, let's do this. And so I started getting to understand it, and I started researching and reading. And guess what? I got so interested about it. You know, there's one thing for you to read about the thing and it's so confusing and all that. I started getting so interested. It was very intriguing. And I said, wow, then this is it. And so we started. So that is what we're saying. From here, please read further, research further, follow up with it. Have questions, you can ask me. There are other industry experts who brought on this platform in the past editions on blockchain. Usually on various editions, I create like about 2-3 sessions on blockchain. That is my passion, right? So, but in this particular session, we'll be having one, except the fact that I'm just inserting a bit of it in here. So if you need to know more, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to other industry experts we have brought on this platform from other space, not just the legal space, right? So there's a need for you to also collaborate and relate with those in the space that are not just lawyers. All right. So the advantages of the blockchain is that it's immutable. It's not something you can just change any information at any time. And when I heard that, the following day, when I went for that seminar, I just thought of the legal, the land registry and the court record, based on my experience of a client taking up or lifting up a document from the land registry, and then my experience from trying to handle some pro bono cases, and then we got to court, the court record, the archive, they couldn't find the file. They tried to trace it, and they saw that the page where the suit number was had already been turned off. For things like this, if they were already digitized and deployed on the blockchain technology, it doesn't matter if you like melt your system. The information will still be there because there are connected nodes to this that has this information. Whether you like, you run your own, you melt it, you do whatever. So now we have an online dispute resolution. We have mentioned some of the platforms of the online dispute resolution. Online, the ODR is becoming more prevalent as more courts and legal organizations adopt ODR platforms for resolving disputes in a faster and more cost-effective manner. Now, cybersecurity, as legal tech tools become more prevalent, cybersecurity is becoming increasingly important for protecting client data, and ensuring the integrity of the legal service. All right, so we'll go quickly to how legal professionals can stay up to date with this emerging trend, legal tech development. You can attend conferences, attend trainings like the ones you're doing here, read industry publications, join online communities that are dealing with legal tech, that are dealing with tech. Don't forget, it's not just about the legal tech. You get to understand tech. It is technology first, then you get to understand how to leverage it. So don't say, oh, I heard about a tech platform, but it's not. But of course, you must know the area you want to focus on because it's so large. It's so large, so you need to know. And then how can you know? When I started out, of course, like I said, be open-minded. You start out not having everything planned. For some, they have everything planned already. They know where they're going, right? But you don't need to confuse yourself or pressure yourself. Just start with reading the basics. And then, of course, if you're a Christian like me, you ask God to direct you. And then you are able to see where your interest is to focus on. Yeah. So you join online communities, you take courses and trainings, like I said, like the one being provided here, which you can get in the classroom on this platform, the Hilton Solicitors Female Virtual Internship. Then follow legal tech companies. Yes, follow legal tech companies that will help you to be able to interact and then interface with some of the tech devices. Like I told you, some of my experience is based on relating with companies that are dealing in tech. And take an example like in terms of blockchain, I have actually interfaced with the various system and aspects of the metaverse that we have to create various avatars, metaverse, and the rest of it. Some of these things wouldn't have been possible if I wasn't relating and interacting with some of these tech companies. If I had said no, that's not legal tech and all that, I won't know, because when you get to know, you get to understand. And each time among the communities, the particular one that I'm talking about, like an example is the Real Academy, where I did a training on metaverse. I recall among us, of course, for myself, I was the only lawyer. And each time they are talking, some of it were quite confusing. Don't take it too harsh on you. Just cool down, calm down, and get to understand what are their things, what are their issues, what role do they need to play. And then you get to see how you create solutions that will be tailored towards the legal tech. So if you do not understand, you will not know how you function. At that time, at some point, my mind was functioning in a way, okay, how is it possible for law firms to be in the metaverse? Is it possible to do this? And so I was throwing questions that were relating to the legal aspect. And then they were like, oh, are you a lawyer? And I said, yes. So I want to see how this can actually benefit the legal industry. And then, of course, how it can, if it benefits them, it benefits me too, right? All right, so that is it. Okay, then the potential impact of legal tech on the legal job market is automation. There's new job roles, as we said earlier. There's increased efficiency. There is changes in skill requirements. We have said this. I said it in the earlier slide, right? So what are the opportunities? The opportunities in legal tech for lawyers. There is the opportunity for you to develop legal tech tools. So some of these tools, I think one of the tools like CILO, if I'm not mistaken, was developed by a lawyer. She was also into practice. I think she also started like me, she was into solo practice and at some point when she transitioned into the legal tech, she came about with her team building a legal tech solution. But how can you, if you do not understand? So the fact that you have the legal knowledge, then you now back it up with tech knowledge and the ability to be able to collaborate and work with technologies. That's the new system. So it's not just going to be the legal knowledge alone. You have to have the business knowledge. You have to have a tech knowledge. It is very, very pertinent. So the level of tech knowledge you will have is dependent on your interest. Now, the level of tech knowledge that you have for someone who wants to only teach legal tech is not the same as someone who wants to develop. So if you want to develop, you want to know how to code, right? Okay, so if you want to develop, do you want to develop softwares? Do you want to program smart contracts? Do you want to just help with just giving legal advice or helping to create the contract that will be deployed on the platform? Different aspects. So that will determine the kind of training and experience that you should put yourself to get, right? So you can provide legal advice on tech matters. You can offer consulting services to legal companies to help them know the various regulatory aspects, how to be able to navigate the technical legal landscape. And then, of course, you can work with and work in a tech startup, right? You can work in it as any of the roles, work in the company, or you can work with them hand in hand and the partners, because you understand technology and you are a lawyer, you have an edge. And so they are willing to put you among their team to work. All right, our time is fast spent. Call to action here is take legal tech courses if you want to function in this space. Like I said, irrespective of the space that you are, even if you are going to just say like you are into litigation. Of course, we're hearing of the virtual court hearing, and I mean, everything is being digitized and then will be deployed to the higher level of some of these emerging trends, emerging technologies. So irrespective of the aspect, it is important that you get to understand about technology, leverage it to have a robust and efficient and thriving legal practice, and then you are able to help create solutions to some of the problems that is plaguing the legal industry. So we took legal courses. Your examples of where you can take such courses are Coursera, edX, attend trainings like the ones we're doing now, then attend legal tech events, read industry publications, join tech companies, tech communities, network, get mentors. Don't forget, your networking is not just among the lawyers, among technologists, among the, and then there are various forms of technologies, right? So get the aspect you want, network within them, get mentors, and then research. There is no understating the fact that you need to research, you need to read. And as you read and get interested in the aspect, you write about it. When I started getting interested, when I started reading and researching about the blockchain, I saw it was interesting me. I started writing. As small as it could be, don't worry about being perfect. There's always a starting point, and don't be pressured by anyone. Take it at the time. Like the Mrs. Helen told us when she came, the time you wake up is your morning. So don't feel pressured. Network, collaborate, and that's the essence of this platform also. Within yourself, collaborate. Get each other's social media handles. Connect with each other. Foster a relationship from this platform and build solutions and be the solutionist. Is in the tech space or whichever space that you want, but remember that whichever area of law you want to practice, it is important that you get to understand that the essence of leveraging technology cannot be overemphasized. And so now we come to the end of legal tech. So legal tech is likely to have both positive and negative impact on the legal job market. It will likely lead to some job losses, but also create new job opportunities and change the skills required of legal professionals. It is therefore important that you learn about legal tech and its impact on the legal industry. so as to stay competitive in the job market and provide better legal services to your client. And in all, legal professionals must be mindful of the ethical issues that arise in the use of legal tech tools, and you must keep taking the steps to ensure that they are using them in an ethical and responsible manner. So with this, we have come to the end of the class. I hope it has been highly insightful. And I hope you really gained something that will help you to chart a good route for yourself as you journey in your life journey into the emerging trend and into the emerging lawyer. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, thank you very much. Okay, so quickly, do we have someone speaking? The network is being interrupted.